Hey guys, it's Becky from Me and Myself and Misha, and today we are going to run through getting your first contour cut sticker, which is your Kids Cut sticker, out of your BN2-20. Now I have a BN2-20A, the exact same settings will work for your BN2-20. This machine is an absolute workhorse and you can set so many sticker jobs just to run straight through while you are off doing other things in your business. Whether it's making things, working on other artwork, whatever it is that you do, this machine is going to run in the background while you do everything else that you need to do for your business. So today we are going to be using our high-tech vinyl sticker paper. It has a grey back and I use it for my stickers, I use it for my customer stickers, I also use it for my tumblers, my packaging, and it's literally, I use it for everything. We are going to be using the glossy one today. It does also come in a matte. So we are going to run through how to set up for your first contour cut, we are going to run through what settings you should have, how to lock in the best type of settings, and we are going to run all the way through to get that first print out so that you should see what your end result should look like. Okay, so we are going to start off by getting our media into our BN2 ready to rock. So this roll of sticker vinyl that I have at the minute is the offcut, the end of the roll. The company I get my products from, Howdy in Ireland, and they cut down these massive rolls of vinyl for me. So we are going to take our media, we are going to slide it up the back of our printer, and then we want to make sure it is underneath these two black clamps on either side. And we are going to slide it forward and clamp down. You also want to make sure that this little boyo here is underneath one of these blue boxes that you've got underneath. Okay, and then we can lower our lid down and our media is in place. Okay guys, so we are going to start off by opening up our Roland DG Connect software. So subpower is currently off. We have access to our DG Connect, our BN2 utility, Versaworks Studio and Flexi-designer. Now we are going to be using a combination today of Flexi-designer and Versaworks Studio. So let's start off by opening all three of these, and then we are just going to minimize this utility. I'm also just going to minimize Versaworks here because we are going to start off in Flexi Studio. Now today we are going to be working with a PNG file. The most important thing about your artwork when you bring it into Flexi-designer for what we are doing today is to make sure that it has a transparent background. So I am really quickly going to open up Photoshop and just show you the difference. And I'm also going to show you how to make sure that if you're working with Canva, that your background is transparent. So we've got Canva opened up here. We are going to go to create a design. I'm just going to pull in a custom design, a custom size here. I just want to show you how to make sure that your background is transparent if you're working in Canva. So if we go to elements and we type in, let's say, a cat. We're going to go to our graphics and we'll grab this cute little orange cat. So we're going to go to share and then we're going to go to download. Now what you want to make sure is that you click this button for a transparent background, because if you don't, your cat's going to come out and it's going to have this full white box around it. So let's download it with the white box. And then we'll also download it as a transparent file. So you want to tick the box for transparent background and click download. And then we'll have a little look at the difference of the two of them. So I'm going to open up both of these files. So this boy here has a transparent background and his friend here does not. His friend has the white background around it. Now if I import this guy with this background into Flexi Studio, it will cut in a square around the artwork because it doesn't know that you want it to cut around the shape of the cat. It thinks that you want to cut around the shape of the square. So this guy here is the one that you would want to import into Flexi. So let's just work with him. He's cute. So we're going to close Canva. You would do the same thing in Photoshop. So you would open up whatever file you want to work on. Let's just open up that cat again. So I've opened up the one with the transparent background. You'll have all these little boxes around it. You can see I can move him around. a lot of the time when you're working in Photoshop, you will have a white background layer. It'll be down here in the bottom corner and it will be locked in place. Okay, but you want to make sure that you've got it turned off, so you've got a clear, transparent background and your kitty, and then you would export it as a PNG. Let's just plunk it in here again. And then he also has a transparent background. Okay, so that is number one most important thing before you do anything else. So we're in Flexi-designer. So we are going to open up our cat. So let's go to our downloads. And we want to open up one of these cats that has a transparent background. I know this one in Photoshop did, so let's open this guy. Now we want to add a contour cut line around this cat. So your contour line is in Flexi Studio. The right color is already saved in there. So you're going to click on your cat and you'll have this big red box around it. You're going to click on your contour cut over here on the left hand side, or you can go to Effects and Contour Cut, which we're going to click on. Now, so this has automatically selected a gray contour here, but we need to click on this box over here, scroll right down to the bottom and choose this pink contour cut. We're going to select that. Now, if I cut that where it is right now, it's going to cut right at the edge of the cat. I like to put a little bit of an interior offset when I'm doing any cutting, just to make sure that I don't end up with any very slight white border around it unless I have chosen to have a white border. So in fact, in this case, we're going to do two different options. We're going to do minus, see these little arrows over here, we're going to tick that down to minus 0.1 of a millimeter. Might go a little bit smaller. Let's do minus 200. And this button here is if you want any interior holes or if you don't want any interior holes. So sometimes you might have an artwork with negative space. If you're doing tumblers, a lot of the time you will have artwork with negative space that you want to cut out. So you want, for a tumbler, you want it to be with holes. For this guy, I don't want any cut marks on the inside of my cat. So I'm going to untick that. So we don't want any interior holes. And most importantly, we are going to click this little green tick and that locks it in place. So then we are going to go up here to File and we are going to go to Export. We're not going to save, we're not going to save as, we're not going to do anything like that. We are going to go to Export. We're going to save it in Downloads again, just so it's easy for me to find. And you want to save it as an Adobe PDF. Okay, so we're going to call it Cat Interior Cut. And that way I know that is my PDF version of this cat. And we're going to click Save. Now I'm just going to undo that contour cut line for a second because now we're going to do an exterior contour cut line, which will add a white border around the outside, which is ideal for making stickers. So we are going to click our contour line again. And over here we're at minus 200. We're going to change that to 3 millimeters and see what that gives us. So that gives us quite a small outline around this cat. And I want it to be a little bit bigger than that. So let's change it to 6 millimeters. Now this will change massively depending on the size of the artwork that you have imported. So this is quite a big image that I've imported. If you import a really small image that's maybe only 2 inches in diameter and you add a 6 millimeter border to it, it's going to have a massive border. So I do tend to eyeball this as I go. And I think right now that where we have that cut line is quite a nice little border around that cat. So I'm going to click the tick again. And I'm going to export that as a cat with an exterior cut line. And I'm going to save it. And that is literally all that we need to do in Flexi-designer. I just use Flexi-designer for adding cut lines. It is such a good software for adding cut lines. It's so quick and so easy. And then we can close it. We don't need to save it because we've already got our PDF versions. Now if we open Versaworks Let me see. I'm sure I've got one of these that doesn't have anything in here. Okay, so we're going to ignore everything in the current job list there. That's just previous work that I have not removed. And we are going to go to add job to queue, and we are going to add it to QD. Now we will go to our downloads again, and you'll see both of our PDFs here. Now we had PNG files saved in there as well. Versaworks Studio does not work with PNG files, so they won't even show. So we are going to select our cat with the exterior cut. We're going to open that up. And we're going to go back to File, Add Job to Queue, QD, and our cat with our interior cut. Okay, now when we're in here, you can see that in our job list here, we have our two cats, and they have this gray outline around them right now. Also under document information, you'll see it says special items and an A, and special items and an A on both of them. And that A is a contour cut line. So I am going to change both of these to be, we'll do 50 millimeters high, which is about 2 inches. And we'll do the same with this little guy. We'll make it 50 inches high, or 50 millimeters high, sorry. Now, there's just one other thing I want to show you on this. Let's put him back to being 400 millimeters first so that you can see. Do you see this kind of dancing and red line all the way around the outside of my cat? That means that my contour cut line is in the right place. I've got dancing ants, so it is going to cut everywhere where you see those dancing ants. That's where my blade is going to cut, okay? So it's contour cut, so it will be one smooth, clean cut line. Okay, so let's put this back to 50 millimeters. And I'm going to show you a nice little handy trick to help save on waste. So we're going to highlight both of these. We're going to right click on our mouse and we're going to click nest. And that now puts our two kitties side by side rather than it printing one on top of the other. Okay, so we are now ready to turn on our printer before we do anything else. It does need to heat up a little bit more before I'll actually be able to use it. It's quite cold in this room, so it does take a little bit of time to heat up. Once it's finished loading, we are going to set up our media. I will do a separate video on how to install new types of media, but for now we are going to choose our Quadient High Tack sticker vinyl. And we are going to click OK. Now we know that the media is loaded because you've seen me do that. We know the loading lever is down, so we are going to click OK. And then we are going to jump straight back into Versaworks. Okay, now that we have our job nested together, we are going to double click on it. And that's going to bring up both of our cats at the same time. Now this will change the settings for both cats at the same time. So if you need different settings for different things, you don't want to nest the job. But because we want the same cut settings for both of these guys, we are going to have them nested together. So we're going to click this button first, get media width, and that's going to change the width of the roll here to what my printer has measured my current media roll to be. So you can see that changed it down to 273 millimeters. So I just want one of each of these cats to print. You can change the spacing up and down. For kids cut stickers, I generally have them set to about 2 millimeters apart. That gives me enough space to cut the rolls if I need to cut them down to fit them into packaging. Then we're going to jump down to quality. Now you'll have a bunch more settings along here if it's your first time using it. I changed this in customize just to be the ones that I use. So media type, we are going to change to generic vinyl, and we're going to set it to our high quality. It's only going to take a minute to print these cats. We're then going to jump down to cut controls, and we are going to make sure that our cutting force is set to 60. So we've just clicked on our little button here to change the cutting controls, changed our cutting force to 60, and we are going to click OK. If you wanted to print, say, 100 cats, you would click on whichever cat you wanted. Down here where it says copy, you would change that to 100. And that will automatically fill your whole page up with 100 cats. But we do not want 100 random orange cats. Okay, now we are going to click print, and it is going to print and cut that job. It is loading it up here, and we are going to swap back to the printer so that we can watch it do its thing. Okay, so our printer is now warmed up and ready to go, so it is going to print our 2 little kitty stickers. What the printer is doing now is it is drying the stickers before it then sucks them back in to cut them. Okay, so the stickers are now dry, so the printer's going to suck them back in and it's going to cut them. Now, it cuts so fast, that first sticker is already done and it has moved onto our second sticker. So I'm going to pull this out of here so that you guys can now see what these have cut like. So I have sheet cut this, and I'm gonna pop these cats now real close to the camera so that you can see them. They've printed absolutely beautifully. And we're gonna peel off this first guy. Now this first guy is the one that doesn't have a white border. So you can see how close that is cut. There is no excess white anywhere around the outside, and it peeled beautifully easily off my sheet. So let's stick him on one finger, and we'll peel off the second one. Now the second one is the one that we did add the white border to. And again, that peeled off super easy. So you can see the difference between the little dude with the white border and the little dude without. The white border is perfectly even all the way around, and the little dude without the white border has been cut absolutely beautifully. So these are the results that you should expect from your printer once you've got your cut settings set up properly. So guys, that is all you need to do for contour cutting. So finally guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you enjoyed it and you found it helpful, please hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on my social media, which is @MeMyselfAndMisha on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. And my website is www.memyselfandmisha.com. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comment section below. I'm going to do my best to get a video out every single week, so if you have anything that you're struggling with, pop it below and I will get around to doing a video on it as soon as I can. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.